Get ready to elevate your sales game with the Loveall Sales Podcast. Here is your host, the insightful and inspiring Brent Loveall.
Welcome to the Loveall Sales Podcast. Today's episode is going to be fire. Why? Is because we are going to break down why most salespeople never reach 20 cars in a month. And if they do it inconsistently. And this is part of the reason why people don't get to 30, 40, 50 cars a month too. So you might say, you know what, I get to 20 sometimes. We need to do it consistently. But most people never get to 30. Most people never get to 40. We're going to break down in this podcast why that is, so you can truly implement these aspects into your sales process to maximize it and get the results that you really, really want to get. Number one, let's talk about this. Structure. I made a podcast about it yesterday, and it is one of the most important aspects of the sales journey. Why? Is because most people come to work every day and they just kind of wing it. They literally just go through the emotions. On average, auto salespeople waste 3 to 4 hours a day. There's no process. There's no time management. There's no anything. They just come to work and they just go through the emotions. They leave. I didn't sell a car, didn't set no appointments. Just there's no structure. And that's part of the reason. And that's probably a main reason, like one of the key reasons why you probably don't get it. Because at the end of the day, like I know this, that my process, whether it's on the phone making an outbound phone call, whether it's taking an inbound phone call, calling internet leads, orphan customers, I pretty much say the same thing every time. I've got my process. It works. Why do I want to make it any different? That's like in the NFL, NBA, baseball, they have set plays, and that's what they do. But if they kind of, like Steph Curry, I love basketball. So, he's practiced millions and millions of shots, but there's only 4,000 or so that he's made in the game. So he practices 99% of the time just for that 1% where he makes it. And if he misses a few shots, does he change his form? No. It's the same way in sales. You need to develop a process and you need to master that process, and that doesn't change. The only reason you change it is to make it better, to make it a better experience for your customer, to make it a quicker experience. And then the second reason besides structure is not mastering the phone. This is the one key, this is the one key area that can make or break your career. The process, extremely important, because when people get there in person, after you've done the phone calls, you still got to 100% be on your game. But the next thing is, again, it's the phone. Because most of the people in this industry just don't pick up the phone enough. You need to spend more time prospecting than anything else. If you work at a huge dealership selling 800,000 cars a month, you might not have to pick up the phone. You just got to worry about like lot ups. You just got to worry about whatever. But at the end of the day, if your dealership doesn't get a ton of lot ups, you need to master the phone, whether that's making outbound phone calls, taking inbound phone calls, calling orphan customers. Your best friend is the phone. Most auto people just don't pick up the phone enough. When I was selling cars, when I was selling 50, 60 cars a month, I was still making 1,500 calls a month plus. My first month ever in the auto industry, I worked half of a month, started on the 16th, took no lot ups, 0. So 21 cars. How? Because I called at least 120 people a day at a bare minimum. And I talked to that many people. You will talk to 10 to 18% of the people that you talk to. So if you make 120 calls, you're going to talk to, roughly speaking, 12 to 24 people. I would rather talk to 12 to 24 than waiting for one lot up a day, maybe two. That's me, because you're going to significantly increase the odds of your chance of success. So master the phone. And odds are most people don't pick up the phone because they don't know what to say. They're not comfortable on the phone. You've got to do it. And I mean, you've got to do it. Reach out to me for sales training. I am the best on the phone in the entire automotive industry. I can help you become an absolute beast on the phone. So not making enough phone calls. And that really goes back to prospecting, because prospecting is the most important thing that you can ever do. Because even if you have the greatest process in the world, if you're not prospecting enough to generate it so you have people to get in front of, it doesn't matter. So prospecting is the most important part in sales, not just auto, in sales in general. So you've got to learn how to prospect, and you can prospect besides the phone, but the phone's going to get you the biggest results, the most immediate results. Now, prospect. How do you prospect besides the phone? Selling out of the service department. There's multiple ways. You can go up and just talk to people. You can call service appointments for the next day. There's all kinds of ways that you can sell out of the service department. Facebook Marketplace, huge opportunity. I believe anybody can sell at a bare minimum 3 cars a month out of Facebook Marketplace. Selling Facebook, meaning when you sell somebody, you take a photo, you tag the people, you go after their likes and their comments, and you build your audience. That's another way that you can get multiple deals every single month, no matter who it is. When you sell one person, when there's 2 people there, now it's your turn. What kind of vehicle would you like? And I will always do that, because the old saying, closed mouths don't get fed. It's the same way. So every single time when there's multiple people, and I remember one time in my second program, there's a gentleman, he works at a Ford dealership. His name is Ryan. And I believe he sold 4 cars to the same family. I think it was like a mom, a dad, a grandma, and then the kid. They all bought new Fords. Like, come on now. That's huge, because, I think he sold 31 cars that month, or 31 and a half. And you got to think 4 cars, that's a good bit of that, roughly speaking, 31 cars a month. So that's prospecting. That's truly giving it, inbound phone calls that are actually outbound phone calls. That's a wrong phone number. That's a huge opportunity. So I'm going to ask that person, what kind of vehicle do you like? That person inquired and they were interested in getting a new vehicle. Sorry, I got the wrong phone number. What kind of vehicle do you have? That's an opportunity. That's prospecting. Let's talk about, I love having a name tag. So when you go out, even on your off days, even when you're outside of work, wear your name tag. That's prospecting, because it's going to create conversations. And I remember when I was running a dealership, being a GM, I remember I would always tell my guys, wear your name tags. They went to a Cincinnati Bengals game, football, and I remember the person sitting beside or behind them, they were they seen the name tag, and then they started talking. He was like, yeah, I own a business. And then this individual, they had bad service at their Ford dealership. So they ended up servicing their cars with us, and they ended up buying cars from us just because of that name tag. So that is another way that you can prospect. Finding local banks. If your dealership can't get them approved, then finding a local bank that you can go and meet. But if we can't get them approved, I'm going to get them a buyer's order. Hopefully you can get them approved. I used to do that and get maybe 1 or 2 deals a month, sometimes none. Body shops. I can go on and on and on. Real estate people, because when people buy new houses, they typically get new cars. That is a rule of thumb. So a good percentage of them do. That's another way to prospect. I can go on and on. When I'm driving down the road and I see a business vehicle, I can see the emblem on the side. I take a picture. I call that individual. Do I do it every time? No, but a good majority of the time, if I see it, I do it, because it's another opportunity. I'm always looking for opportunities to prospect, and that's the way that you need to do it. Most people, they just don't treat it like a career. They don't truly prospect all day, every day. That is your goal. If you're not in front of somebody, you need to be working on getting in front of somebody. One of the biggest ways to prospect is social media, creating videos through Facebook. Today. All right, perfect. Someone just texted me, so I was reading it. Next thing is if you're not in front of somebody, you got to be working on getting in front of somebody. Social media is a great way to do that. Every single time I make a sale, I want to promote it to the world. Every day, multiple times, I'm going to make videos and also talk about this. So many people I talk to, they're like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable doing this. well, then you're not going to maximize your income. Are you really committed? Yes, I am. Then you need to do this. Like, prospecting is the most important thing. The next thing that they don't master to get to the next level is following up with people. Hey, I'm just following up to see if your wife said that, see what your wife thought about it. I'm just following up to see if you thought about it. If they would have thought about it and they wanted to do it, they would have called you. You need to have a reason for your call. And all of these things that, that are preventing people from getting from 20, 30, 40, 50 cars a month, these are all things that you have to master. And following up, you don't sell everybody when they are there. Sometimes you don't sell them over the phone. When you follow up, you've got to have a reason for your call. You've got to be spot on. I forgot to tell you something yesterday when you were here. Like, this vehicle, it is a one owner, clean Carfax, low, whatever it is. You got to give them a good reason to call, not just I'm following up, I'm just circling back, I'm just reaching out. That is terrible. You'll get terrible results with it as well. And then, this is a huge thing. There's only two different ways to sell cars. You're either A, going to sell a higher percentage, meaning close at a higher percentage, or you get in front of more people. What if you can do both? Because you can. So, like me personally, work on your closing abilities. Work on when I believe the sale really happens during the fact finding. That's when the connection is built. That is when I ask for my trial close. So many people start asking for trial closes after the test drive. Don't do that. Go ahead and ask for it. Speed up the process. So you have to, and I repeat, you have to dominate. And you've got to really, really get good at all of these areas that I just mentioned. Because if you do, you're going to get to 20, 25, 30 cars a month, if not more. And if you don't master all of these things, you're going to be inconsistent. It's going to be like a roller coaster. Some months you do good, some months you do bad. It can never happen that way. Or it's flatline. You sell this amount of cars every single month. And dealerships have those people all of the time. But the real people, their numbers always go up. And if they don't always go up, they might stay stuck here or there for a month or two, maybe 3. But then after that, they figure out how to sell more and more and more and more. It only took me a couple years before I started selling, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 cars, because I'm a master of my craft. I don't just give up on saying I want to sell 30 cars. No, I was always chasing the next person, which was Cody Carter. He sells 100 and something cars a month. I wanted to get there. I would have got there, but I then took a management position and I started training and managing people. So you've got to master these aspects. When you master all of these things that I just mentioned, you're going to become a true automotive sales professional. And I consider people like, you're not a true automotive sales professional if you don't master all of these. So please do it. Take great pride in what you do. Share this with other people. Subscribe to this podcast because I drop great knowledge as much as I can. I try to do it at least 4 or 5 days a week. But you have to, and I repeat, you have to treat this industry like a career. Go all in and take massive action. And I mean massive action every single day. Share this with some people. Subscribe. I love you all. God bless. Believe in yourself because I do.